Hello! Today I want to discuss a well-known figure, the US President Donald Trump. We have his exact horoscope, allowing us to use astrocartographic maps sensitive to birth time. I won't cover Trump's entire horoscope. I'll only look at his astrocartographic features, not in full detail. There might be a longer version of this video available elsewhere, but here on YouTube I'll provide a brief overview of Trump's horoscope. This is what his horoscope maps look like. We see the ascendant placed in the last minutes of Leo, but I won't specify the birth time here as it's not the aim of this overview. The accuracy is noted and the birth certificate is AA, the highest level, so the stated accuracy is sufficient. To start, we can identify the main actors in the horoscope of the politician and businessman. Firstly, the Sun-Uranus North Node conjunction in the 10th house indicates Trump's leadership style and his fate, which can be described as occurring in leaps, sudden, sharp, unexpected changes. To describe the core of his personality, I would definitely add the word experimenter-inventor. Trump doesn't like to follow well-trodden paths. He'll use something new of his own. Mars plays a significant role in his horoscope, being near the ascendant, and Jupiter naturally plays a special role for all politicians and businessmen. It's in Libra, in a good aspect with Uranus. This means the person has good chances to implement his reforms and inventions. This is what his astrocartographic map for the whole world looks like. To make our analysis somewhat systematic, let's do this. First, I'll look at some aspects of his personal life, aspects of his two marriages in connection with astrocartography, as well as using local projections of the horoscope. Then I'll move on to reviewing Trump's relationships with different countries, with which countries he will have easier relationships and with which more difficult. Donald Trump has been married 3 times officially. Interestingly, 2 out of 3 wives were born in roughly the same area of the globe. Interestingly, 2 out of 3 wives were Slavic. The first wife and the third. The first wife was Czech, a ski model from Czechoslovakia. They had 3 children in their family. And of course, Melania Trump, who hails from Slovenia, and they also have a child together. In the middle was a marriage to American Marla Maples. They also have a child together, a daughter, but Marla naturally was born in the United States, in the state of Georgia. Let's see how these marriages, these people, the places they came from, are shown in the astrocartographic map. I'll look into Europe. Here's what we see: the territory of Czechoslovakia, where the first wife was born, and here's where the second wife was born. Astrocartography doesn't initially reveal anything significant about this. These places are between the projections of Pluto and Mars, but everything changes when we connect the block of local projections. Let's turn them on and see what starts happening. I'll enlarge this fragment. And here's what we see. A projection of Jupiter passes through Slovenia. This same Jupiter projection, due to its wide influence, also touches Austria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and parts of the Balkan countries. This zone, from Trump's horoscope perspective, is favorable for matters related to Jupiter. In his horoscope, Jupiter is in Libra. Libra, which relates to partnership. Moreover, Jupiter significantly co-rules the 7th house of partnerships. The sign of Aquarius accounts for only 2 minutes. The rest is the realm of pieces, ruled by Jupiter, especially since Jupiter is retrograde. Therefore, this Balkan area, Slovenia, Czechoslovakia, Austria, is favorable for building partnerships for Donald Trump. Interestingly, if we recall the second wife, Marla Maples, she's from Georgia, We see that near the capital of this state, Atlanta, there's also a projection of Jupiter, also in local horizontal projections. The city of birth, Dalton, where she was born, is closer to the Tennessee state in this area, roughly between the projections of Neptune and Jupiter. It's worth noting that this marriage was the shortest, only 6 years. The other marriages lasted decades. Now let's look at Trump's horoscope in the context of US relations with other countries. Let's see what advantages and disadvantages Trump can draw from his horoscope in building foreign policy. To simplify the analysis, I'll forego horizontal or local projections of planets. We'll limit ourselves to the most reliable astrocartographic projections. Canada, here we see the projection of Mars, which connects Washington with Toronto. To a lesser extent, this Mars will also affect the capital of Canada, Ottawa, but it will still have an effect. So there's some tension towards Canada. Interestingly, Trump has a business project in Toronto where Trump Towers are built, and they also have mixed interpretations, mixed success. Currently, if I'm not mistaken, the Trump brand has even been removed from them. Thus, relations with Canada don't look very promising. Strangely enough, relations with Mexico seem better than with Canada. We see the projection of Venus, the projection of Jupiter, which touches this country. Though not the capital, but still. We see significant tension created by Trump's horoscope Pluto in Central America. This includes Nicaragua, El Salvador, Panama to a lesser extent, despite Trump's loud statements. In South America, tense relations with Venezuela can be noted due to the projection of Mars near Caracas. Tense relations are also expected with Paraguay, Uruguay, and Argentina, although Argentina, as we know, with its new president Milei, really wants to befriend and be the best friend of the USA. But for Trump, Argentina seems like a heavy burden. Through Argentina also passes the projection of Pluto. It also indicates some tensions between the USA and Peru. In Africa, Trump has quite tense relations with Libya, the Republic of Congo, Gabon, and also South Africa. Only tense projections of Mars, Uranus, and the luminary are projected onto South Africa. Also, the area of Somalia and the exit from the Red Sea to the Indian Ocean are under planetary tension. Yemen is also under strong tension. This area is problematic for Trump and indicates some losses. Luck. Trump's luck is associated, for example, with Morocco. Here, both diplomatic and economic relations can be built advantageously. Also, the projection of Jupiter indicates luck in the area of the Canary Islands near Senegal, Gambia. Yes, these are, of course, not very important countries, but still. Let's look into Europe. The projection of Saturn and Venus indicates a more or less progressive relationship that can be built with Portugal. But the projections of Pluto and Mars indicate clear tension with Switzerland, Denmark, Greece, Bulgaria, Latvia, and Lithuania, as well as Finland. Trump, strangely enough, may also have not very good relations. Some tensions his Pluto creates in relations with Norway. Certain luck is associated with him, with Trump, with Ireland. I've glanced over his international business projects and know he built a large golf center in Ireland, naturally, a hotel system, but unfortunately for Trump, it's on the western side of Ireland, so things aren't perfect there. Nevertheless, his golf center is involved in major sports competitions in this sport, and if I'm not mistaken, even World Cup stages are held there, so the project related to Ireland is gradually gaining strength. Here it is appropriate to remind that Trump, through his assistants, for example, Dana White, mentioned the name of mixed martial artist McGregor as a possible candidate for the presidency of Ireland. Look here, Venus, these plans, they might come true. Some luck related to the victory of his supporters in this country is quite likely. Relations with Ukraine. Trump has some tensions related to Western Ukraine. With the rest of Ukraine, his relations are neutral. There is no great interest. The same applies to Moscow. Personally, I doubt Trump is making any big plans related to Russia, to Moscow. Central Asia, Siberia, we see the projection of Jupiter passing through the capital of Kazakhstan, Astana. Here, however, there are also tense projections from Uranus and the luminaries, but nevertheless, the projection of Jupiter through Astana suggests that Trump can establish good relations with this country. Trump may also have a noticeable influence on the countries of Central Asia, especially Tajikistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan. Relations with India, thanks to the projection of Mercury, may look quite constructive based on mercurial trade interests. Non-conflict projection of Mercury. We see some tension related to the projection of Saturn in the area of Bangladesh, as well as in the area of Chinese Tibet. Here, Trump's plans may face strong resistance and they are unlikely to be realized. The same probably applies to plans related to Mongolia. Despite the projection of Venus, the projection of Saturn has a much stronger influence on the relations between the USA and Mongolia. China, this country probably interests more than others because Trump often talks about it. Yes, near Beijing, but not exactly. But the projection of Pluto passes, and nearby passes the projection of Mars, which slightly touches China, but to a much greater extent Taiwan. We see that tension related to China exists. Plans related to this country for Trump may go through resistance, through conflict, and he is unlikely to win anything there. Uranus and celestial projections are cast over Japan, making relations with Japan questionable. Thus, relations with Japan might face some surprises. Trump might try to use Japan in a new way with an experimental twist. Typical of almost all of Trump's actions. Regarding North and South Korea, there are projections of Uranus and Mars. This is generally a tense configuration. It's unlikely that plans involving these countries will be successful for Trump. They are more likely to lead to disagreements. Let's check the situation in Southwest Asia and Australia. Yes, one could say he has a certain luck related to New Zealand. Here, Jupiter's projection passes Saturn's projection and also Venus's. Overall, the balance is clearly positive for projects related to New Zealand. Neptune passes through the capital of Australia near the capital. This suggests that plans related to Australia might be hard to realize. Australia might disappoint Trump. His hopes for this country might not be fulfilled. One could also say that support from Australia for Trump will be very shaky, almost like betrayal. Of course, if I were tasked with making a more detailed forecast for Trump, I would consider horizontal projections, the geodetic world map, and some of own projections that help me form a comprehensive picture. Nevertheless, you have a general idea of how projections in Trump's horoscope create conditions for shaping US international policy. Thank you. Goodbye.